Pretzelman 945 here. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I have a short little discussion video on a topic that everyone knows and everyone probably hates: political ads. Um, there's a lot I could say about why political ads suck. Everyone hates them, as I just said, but what I want to talk about in this video is a specific aspect of political ad that I really despise, and why I think that they are generally the worst kinds of ads. Um, because, beyond the fact they are overly spammed, extremely annoying, often I feel like tends to show way more of one particular party compared to another. Um, uh, make it meaning at least to my interpretation, there's clear bias where there shouldn't be in that kind of system. But all those things suck. But it's not even my least favorite part about political ads. The worst part about political ads to me is the inevitable course that they go on. Now, what I mean by that is that, um, like take for example the governor race that's happening in my state, which I'm not going to name the state or any candidate names just for my own privacy's sake, but um, I think political ads for governor race started around like February of this year. And gradually some more other ones trickled in, like governor and lieutenant governor and stuff like that. Um, and the thing um that like really sucked about these is that like in the beginning they were typical standard fare in which a candidate for this governor position was actually advertising themselves and appealing to the people. But then we move a few months along the line to April and especially May, especially like April and May, like leading up to the election that happened on May 19th. And it is just pure slander fest. And this happens every single time across any kind of election, any kind of political ads at all. This is a trend that I've noticed like years and years before I was even able to vote in any of these elections. And I really hate it. I hate the fact that like even though no one likes political ads to begin with, I hate the fact that they turn from what I feel like it should be, which is a candidate advertising themselves, explaining why people should vote for them. That's what I think a political ad should be and should do. Because in that case, it just is like any other kind of ad, um, where um, where it's like, okay, I want to skip it, but fine. Um, but like when it turns into two candidates just doing fucking slander campaigns against each other, like it doesn't matter if they're for the party I want to vote for or not. It makes me have zero interest in voting for either candidate because they don't do anything to establish their own credibility and why they should be voted for because all of their energy is solely devoted for some reason to trying to defraud the other candidate. Um, that they are up against instead of trying to further their own case. And in my opinion, purely trying to slander an opponent does not make it easier for you to win a competition. Like, if two guys are running a race, for example, and one guy is clearly faster than the other, even if it's only by a little bit, then yeah, well, actually, let's say that like they have pretty equal running speeds. One might get a little bit of a lead, up from the other. The thing that's gonna help the slightly faster runner win the race is press into that lead to keep running and not try and slow the other runner down to make sure that he fails. That's not how you win a race. Like, sure, it might be effective sometimes, but in the grand scheme of things, it is like a pretty poor strategy overall, and it's more just like a cheap tactic that works a few times. And going back, like in the political scene, it doesn't work at all to me. Um, I don't care that your rival candidate apparently had Medicare fraud scandals or had illegal immigrants working. Um, I'm not saying illegals or illegal aliens because I hate that terminology. That could be an entire other video in itself. But um, illegal immigrants working at their mansion when they weren't supposed to. Whoa! Oh my god! And I'm like, here's the thing. Um, if any of those allegations are well, here's the thing that makes even less sense is like if any of those allegations were real, such as, for example, Medicare fraud, it's a pretty fucking big deal. If something like that actually existed, then why then like, I mean, accepting the fact that a large majority of the American population is absolute uneducated dumbasses who are just like fed like sheep based on the media that they consume, accepting that part, which obviously is a big part of it, and that might be why it works sometimes now that I think about it, but like I don't know. I feel like it shouldn't work because there can't be that many people that like knowingly would vote for someone that has that kind of scandal. Like, I find it hard to believe that if one of these political candidates had a scandal like that going on in their political career, that it would be hard for them to be to run legitimately as a candidate for an office like governor. And also, like, what I find even more unbelievable is the fact that this kind of information is first being revealed in a political ad. Like, I feel like this is the kind of thing that at least someone would have known about and made known to more people than just a bunch of people finding out it apparently happened in a political ad for the first time. Uh, so in conclusion, I think that um political ads really suck because they always inevitably go from a decent start where candidates actually advertise themselves, establish credibility, explain why people should vote for them, but it always ends up devolving into this absolute mess of the same slander ads, the same types of slander ads over and over and over again. And it just amounts to absolutely zero progress being made. Okay, ran over. That is why I hate political ads and the inevitable course of them. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.